This guide is for those who are new to the Isle Evrima and want to play Pteranadon, and for those who've played Pteranadon before, but aren't sure how the mechanics work. I like to spawn at water access since it spawns you right by the lake with the dam. It's also usually easier to see around here when it's dark or foggy like it is now. You can take flight by giving a slight press of your spacebar. Don't hold it down or you'll use up all of your stamina. Once in the air, you should see the lake come into view. If you don't, fly around a bit to find it. As you can see, flying can be a little laggy sometimes. If you want to go closer to the ground, press your W key and look where you want to go with your mouse. First, we need to do some fishing. You'll need to fly around and look and listen for fish jumping out of the water. When you find fish, you'll need to glide over the water and hold down your right mouse button. This will put your head down into the water. As you glide over the water, you'll need to keep tapping your spacebar to keep your body above water, otherwise you'll fall in. Here you can see fish jumping out of the water. You can see as we glide over the fish with our head in the water, it pops up the message to release my right mouse button to catch a fish. When we release our right mouse button, you can hear us catching a fish. A quick note here, we were turning a lot while we were fishing. I recommend getting the hang of the straight glide and fish first before trying to do turns too. I like to take them back to the dam to eat, however you can choose any place you want to land. The higher you go, the more stamina you'll use up. When trying to gain altitude, try to press your spacebar as your wings go down and release as they come up. You'll save more stamina doing it this way. It's here that I realize I didn't reconfigure my air brake for slowing down. As it is now, you press Z for your air brake to slow down and land. For me, this is a hard button to press when also trying to press my directional keys. Thankfully, we have a safe landing. I drop the fish with our G key and move around till it gives me the option to eat it. This fish is actually small enough to eat whole, so I didn't have to drop this one. The bigger fish you do need to drop when you're still a baby. To reconfigure your key bindings, hit Escape, Settings, Controls, click next to where it says Air Brake, then press the button you want to use. In my case, I like to have it on my mouse where my thumb is. Important to remember, every time you log out, your key binding will reset. It didn't do this before, and I hope it gets fixed soon. You don't have to, but I usually like to restam in between each fishing trip. I don't always, but it can be a good idea. Press H to rest to regain your stamina. Right now you can see our diet is good. Now, I don't worry about diet when starting out on the Pteranodon. I just live off of fish until my stomach is full. Pteranodons grow super fast, so it's not super important at this point. You can see our preferred food along with the diet icons they fill up. I'm already at 27% growth and we've only just started. You can see we are currently at 2 hexagons full of dot diet and our stomach is still a bit empty. After regaining your stamina, press H to get up again. If you don't, you get up faster and it will drop your stamina back down. We take flight again to do more fishing. We come in a little too hot and land in the water. If you land in the water, you cannot fly out of it. You have to swim to shore. Since these are usually dino-infested waters and the shoreline is quite far, I'm pretty sure this is the end for this Pteranodon. Somehow, we actually survived. That took a lot of my stam, so I decided to head back to my spot on the dam and restam again. To land, simply hold down your air brake key and look where you want to land. As you get close, look straight down. With our stam refilled again, we give fishing another try, trying to be more careful this time. We do a straight easy glide over the lake until we are close enough to the water to put our head down. Then we start moving towards where the fish were jumping. Make sure your head is low enough in the water. If your head is up too high, usually you won't catch a fish. Trying to get your head low enough in the water while trying to stay above the water can be hard to balance, especially if you are new to playing a Pteranodon. When you add turns to the mix, that adds even more to the challenge. With practice, you can get really good at it. We catch a much larger fish this time and take it back up to eat. Fish used to fill your stomach a lot more than they do now. Now you need to catch a lot more fish. I use use my air brake to slow down when I feel like I'm going too fast. A quick press of the button, then letting go, usually does the trick, and you'll go back to gliding automatically. Remember, when flying, you want to glide as much as possible. Try not to press your space bar more than you need. Holding shift will make you fly faster, however, it also drains your stamina faster. We are a bit thirsty, so we fly across the lake. As you can see, we can go quite a ways without needing to press anything. As you glide, you will slowly go lower to the ground. There are two spots at this lake that are pretty safe to drink at. There's this spot here that looks pretty safe for the most part. To our left is a wallowing hole where you can cover yourself in mud. Then there is this area I know is pretty safe because it's shallow all the way out to here. It would be very hard for a bigger dino to get to you without being seen. A very small dino, maybe. Still, always be aware something could easily be hiding in the brush behind you, and your camera will lock when you're drinking, so you can't look behind yourself. As you drink, make sure to watch your water on the right-hand side of your screen. Make sure it's filling up. Drinking can be finicky sometimes, and every now and then it won't fill. We decide to try a new fishing spot. There's only so many fish per spot, so when you catch all of them, they will disappear or spawn somewhere else. To our left, we see a dino on land, so now we know there's at least one in this lake at the moment. I do a wide circle around the lake to see if I can see more fishing spots and return to our spot on the dam since our stamina is getting pretty low. Be sure to land before you run completely out of stamina, or you might have a crash landing, and depending on how bad you crash, your Pteranadon might not see another day. If you're entirely new to playing Pteranadon, there is a learning curve to flying and fishing. I highly recommend you find a safe spot to practice before trying it in a lake infested with dinos. Over the dam is the ocean and makes for a nice open area to practice your flying and your fishing. You won't catch any fish in the ocean, you just want to practice your mechanics and stay close to shore so when you fall in, you can get out quickly without wasting too much stam. You can also sniff as a Pteranodon by pressing Q. You'll see your blue sniff bar pop up over your head, which is also your compass. Where it points up is north, down is south, the dome-looking thing is the current migration zone. We also see a chicken icon, which represents food that isn't on our diet. The water icons are represented by water drops. We also see the dino in the water down below. By the way the chicken is moving, it looks like it is being carried by the dino. The chicken that was moving disappears as the dino eats it. Food or diet icons will guide you to food. They will move if they are being carried by something. They'll be small if they are far away and grow bigger as you get closer to them. You can also see when you pass them, such as what happened here. I decide the fog is cleared up a bit and I'm a bit bigger, so I start to head off towards the river. However, I spot a fishing spot and decide to go ahead and fish a little more instead first. Knowing that the dino is in the water and that it has been watching me has me more nervous now. A dino can easily snatch you while you're fishing, and some are very good at snagging you out of the air if you're low enough. I choose to use the rocks next to me to eat on. I drop the fish to eat and it disappears into the rock. Usually when this happens, you can still eat the fish, just move around until it gives you the option. As I'm eating the fish, I can hear loud splashing to my left. The dino seems to have brought me a big fish. I do a friendly call to them, just because I'm nice and I know how annoying that one call can be. These big fish are called elite fish, and they used to be on the Pteranodon's diet. However, they aren't anymore. I think this dino might think they still are. The dino does a 2 call and moves away from the fish. At this point, I am trying to gauge the situation and figure out if this dino is trying to pull a quick one on me or if they are actually trying to be friendly. I'm also not sure if there's any more dinos in the water that will sneak attack me. I consider if I should eat the fish or not. On the one hand, they aren't on my diet, so won't fill up any of my hexagons above my stomach. On the other hand, fishing is going slow and it would help me fill my stomach much faster. I decide to take my chances. As I get to the fish, I hear more splashing, which scares me, and I fly back up on the rock. If something was actually after me, they probably would have gotten me since my response time was slow. It was just a gallimimus crossing the water. All seems okay again, so I approach the fish and start eating, listening for any indication that something is about to eat me. Feeling very nervous after a couple of bites, I press G to grab a chunk to take back up to the rock to double check my surroundings. You can never be too paranoid in this game. With my stomach now half full, I say thank you to the dino with the 2 call and decide I'll fill the rest of my stomach with more diet from the fish. I return to my drinking spot to quench my thirst. As you can see, this time my water doesn't start going up as I drink. I try turning a little and drinking again. Still not working. So I move to a different spot. This time it works. We are now big enough to eat the fish whole. To do this, simply press E while holding the fish. With our stomach finally full and us being almost fully grown, we head down the river towards the migration icon where we're likely to see more people. Since it's foggy, we stay down low so we can see the river. If you go up too high, it gets hard to see anything, making returning to the ground more dangerous. As we fly, we start smelling to see if there are any diet icons from our preferred food list that we can go eat. Unfortunately, we just smell food not on our diet. As we enter migration zone, the icon splits and becomes very large. When going under bridges or other objects, give yourself plenty of room. Sometimes those hitboxes are lower down than you think and you'll crash into an invisible barrier. As it gets darker, we find a place to land. You can see in our character menu it says we have a perfect diet with our growth rate increased to 15%. If it was actually a perfect diet where we have one of each icon type, dots, lines, and S, we would have a growth rate increase of 50%. If we had one of one diet type and 2 of another, we would have a growth rate increase of 30%. Again, our growth rate doesn't matter too much on the Pteranodon because we grow so quickly anyways. You can also have a look at our preferred diet list to see what other animals we can hunt and which diet they give. We hear Pteranodons in the area, which are on our diet. As you can see, it's impossible to hunt them when it's this foggy and this dark, especially in this area where they have plenty of ground cover. Pteranodons are small and fast. We returned to our rock because there's not much else we can do, and then our game crashed. I wasn't able to get back in until the next day. When I logged back in, I was happy to see it was actually clear and not foggy. However, the sun was quickly setting. I decide I better land to regain my stamina so I can fish and get a drink before it's too dark to see. Here's another reminder to always reconfigure your airbrake before you take flight, or else something like this or worse might happen. It took too long to regain our stamina, and it's now dark. Pteranodons have terrible night vision. It didn't used to be this way, and I hope they get better night vision soon. Still, we need to eat some fish and get a drink before settling in for the night. We head down the river looking for a good fishing spot and a safe spot to drink. As it gets darker and darker, I regret this decision. This is the difference between night vision and no night vision. Not much. I know there is a dam ahead that will hopefully be able to land on safely. I can barely make it out in the moonlight. Thankfully, we have a safe landing. Since I'm thirsty, I hop down to get a drink. However, as I drink, I see my thirst starts going down instead of up. Apparently, this is salt water instead of fresh water. The ocean is on the other side of the dam. Salt water will dehydrate you faster. For some reason, I decide to take flight again to try and find a different spot to drink. I instantly regret my decision again, as it seems even darker now. I really can't see anything. It's pitch black. I only include this portion of the video because I want to show the current state of the Pteranodon, and right now it is completely unplayable when it's this dark at night with their current night vision. I have no idea if the water is below me, where the trees are, or the mountains around me. I just try to stay high enough so I don't run into a tree. At this point, I just want to land. I can't make anything out to land on, though. I decide to just take a chance. I press the button for my air brake and slowly start making my way down. Not sure what I'm going to land on or if it will cause me to hit something and fall to my death. Thankfully, I land safely on the ground. My night vision is so bad I can barely see the ground beneath me. I get a much needed drink of water, no longer caring if it's safe to drink here or not, and can barely make out a rock I can rest on across the water. With nothing else I can do, with it being this dark and still so much time left of darkness, I decide to log out for the night. When I log back in, thankfully it's daytime and clear. A rare thing in the Isle, celebrate it when it happens. As I start looking for a place to fish, I can hear herbivores up on the bridge. Of course, I had to go investigate. As I fly over them, I don't see anything that would be on my diet or small enough to hunt, so I throw out a friendly call to them. These areas that are more open are nice areas to hunt in. Glide back and forth over the land, looking for any movement and listening for any sounds. You would want to spend more time doing this than we did here. Pteranodons also have a mechanic where you can cling to the side of something. To do this, simply hold your air brake and right mouse button as you approach what you want to cling to. Once you cling successfully, you can let go of your buttons. Here you can see me cling to the side of a rock wall, then to a tree. Careful with this, if you don't have your buttons held down or you come in too fast, you will crash. You will not lose or gain stamina when you cling to something. To take flight again, look where you want to go and do a quick press of your spacebar. In conclusion, the Pteranodon is one I really enjoy playing, especially when I just want a more relaxed experience in the Isle. With the heavy fog, it makes it more challenging and hard to explore the map, which is one of the fun things to do as a Pteranodon. Right now, it's pretty much unplayable at night unless you just want to sit there and do nothing. So if you're the kind of person who normally logs out for the night, the Pteranodon might be for you. I'm one of those that likes to play through the night, and I'm sad to see Pteranodon get such poor night vision. I really do hope they improve it. Some nights might not be as dark, so you might have more luck on those nights or in an area with more lighting. Surviving as a Pteranodon is usually pretty easy. There's always fish available, and I find them quite enjoyable to catch. Hunting is more challenging. However, you can just fly around and scavenge off the bodies to get your diets too. Just keep sniffing as you fly for any of your diet icons to pop up. I hope you found this guide helpful. It was a bit of a mix between how-to and how I survived, with helpful tips in the mix. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging with me. If you found this guide helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Feel free to leave a comment down below or ask any questions you might have. I will try to answer them the best that I can. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, bye-bye.